Okay, this is take 452 because my microphone hasn't been working and I'm pretty sure it is now. So I'm just going to show you a really quick Scrivener tutorial. Everything you need to know, quick and dirty, and this is just going to be pretty much the basics with a couple of extra features that I really like thrown in there. But you don't have to use all of the fancy features if you're not used to it or if you don't want to. There are so many things you can use, and you don't have to be intimidated by this binder area over here, and you don't have to be intimidated by the toolbar. It's completely easy to use once you know how to use it. So let's just get right into here. I have just opened a document, a new novel with parts template, and then all I did was I added a couple of fake chapters and pages so you can get an idea of what everything looks like. So we're going to start over here in the binder. Basically what the binder is it keeps all of the things that you've written in one place where you can see it. And you can move it around if you want to. I just made that a folder. You can move it around, you can see it all in one place, and it keeps it really organized, and that's my favorite part. Okay. Oops. Get that back into the folder. Okay. So that's the binder, and right here you see you have your manuscript. So that's all the writing that you're actually doing for your novel. And this is what's all going to go in there in a compile. And what compile is basically it just puts all the documents together into one big long document for you to print or for you to send to somebody. And that's what the manuscript section is. And you can rename it to your book name or whatever you want. And then you have, characters, places. I usually delete this front matter one because I'm not sending it to any publishers, so I just delete that. Research is really great. You can actually put links and stuff in here. And then template sheets, which is awesome because you have like a default character sketch and setting sketch. But basically what you want to put in template sheets is anything that you're going to need a lot to copy and paste. So let's say character sketch. I want to put it in characters. Nope, I did not want to do it that way because I wanted to copy it. I don't know what I'm thinking. Character sketch. I'm just going to copy and paste. That's the easiest. So the main character needs this stuff. So the role and story, main character. Occupation, let's say detective. And you just fill this out with, all of the details for your character. It's a really basic one, but you can make more. And I'm getting a little off topic here from what I planned. So basically, this is where your manuscript goes. This is where you want to put characters, this is where you want to put places, and this is where you want to create documents that you're going to use over and over that you can copy and paste into your chapters or into this. And you can make a lot more folders. You can make, you can delete any folders that you don't want. And you can make it as clean and as simple or as complicated as you want. So let's just go into here. I'm going to click manuscript, and when I do that, it shows all the documents in one that I have under manuscript. It shows every single one. So while I have manuscript clicked, I'm going to go over to the corkboard view. That's the next thing we're going to talk about, is the corkboard. I love the corkboard view because it really cleanly brings everything together. So it's showing chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. And what these colored tags mean, I'll show you. It says it's the label. So the green colored tag is a chapter. Now you can name this anything you want. Like you can have all the green tags mean that it features your love interest character but not your main character, or all the green tags are set in the woods rather than in the city. Anything you want that will help you organize it. But the status is a little something different. Let me show you what the status is. The status shows up as a stamp on these index cards, which you can also change. You can change the way the stamp is displayed and everything, but we're not going to get into that right now. And the status, you can put to do, first draft, revised draft, final draft, and you can add ones to these also. Like the chapter 3, I put not yet sent to beta. So not yet sent to the beta reader, so I know I still have to send that chapter to my beta reader so they can read it. So just the little things that help you stay organized with it. So, okay, this is the binder with your typing view, and then you've got your corkboard view. And this view is a little like the corkboard view. I don't really use it. It shows all your things, you know, as a timeline or whatever. I don't like this view as much. It's a little messy to me. But if you want to use it and stay organized that way, that's great. It'll, you know, it might work well for you. So going back to the manuscript view, you see I have 3 folders here, chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. So I'm going to click chapter 1, and again you can go into the corkboard view and you see scene 1, scene 2, and scene 3. That's everything that's in the folder for chapter 1. Now I wouldn't recommend calling it chapter 1 and then scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. Rather, you kind of want to put a description in there, or if you want to, the chapter name if you already know what it is. But, you know, scene 1 would be impact scene. Scene 2 is character building. You know, whatever you want to call the scenes so you know what they are. And again, you can do the labels. So it says first draft and revised draft. And I've put a synopsis of each one on here so I know what happens in it. So I'm looking at them all and they're organized, and I can say, oh, since scene 1 is a first draft and it says this is the first scene of the novel and it has to have impact, like just whatever your synopsis is, oh yeah, I want to work on that one today. So I'm going to go into scene 1. Sure I am. And here I have everything I've typed. So this is everything in scene 1, and then I don't have the distractions of other documents pulled up, and this is just scene 1 right here in front of me. So scene 2, you'll see it just has a little icon of an index card, meaning there's nothing written in scene 2, it's just the synopsis. Now, where can you find the synopsis other than the corkboard view? Oops, chapter. Here's the corkboard view, and you can change the synopsis by double-clicking on the card, so you know what's in that scene. But otherwise, how to see the synopsis is you go over here to the inspector. The inspector is one of my favorite features of Scrivener other than the binder. The binder is the best, and if that's all you want to use is the binder, that's great. But the inspector is a really powerful tool. It shows the synopsis right here, and it shows your label and the status, whatever label you want to put on it. I'm going to label this one notes, and you can see that it's included in the compile, means it's going to be printed or sent whenever I compile it. You don't have to worry about those things. But here you can keep some little notes that aren't going to show up in your typing here. It's not going to show up in the middle at all. Let's just... Okay, so I've got some typing, and I'm just going to put some notes. These are notes that I have about this scene. And that way you can just keep notes on maybe what you want to include in this scene, or maybe, oh, I need to remember that, you know, my main character is wearing a ring, so she needs to take it off later, or just any little notes. And I really love this area. There are more things up here, other views that you can use within the inspector. I don't really use these. This is a comments one, and snapshots are if you want to take a snapshot of your document as is, so you can edit it and then go back to the original if you want to. I don't use those. I just use the document notes, and I really like this view. And so you don't have to keep the inspector up if you don't want to. You just click the eye to make it pop up or go away. So that is the binder and the cork board. I showed you labels and status. Oh, project targets. Let's do that. Project targets is right here. It looks like a little target, and all it is it tells you how many words you've written since you opened the document, how many words you've written in entirety within your manuscript. This does not include the characters, places, research, or template sheets. It's just within your manuscript. So it's actually really cool because it's great for NaNoWriMo, because, oh, my goal is 50,000 words and I've written 6,500 of those words. And then you can put, oh, I want to write 1,000, oops, not that many. I want to write 1667 words this session, and yep, I've made that goal, and this goal I am not there yet, but I will be. So that's the project targets. Oh, full screen. I really love working in full screen. This right here is the full screen view. You can also press F11. So going into full screen, it's basically just your document with no distractions whatsoever. The background is blank. You can't see any other documents. There's no distractions. Let me get out of here because actually I just want to do scene 1. And I'm going to go back into full screen. Scene 1. So here's my scene 1, nothing else, no distractions, and you can actually play with it a little, like make it wider, make it narrower, however it's easiest for you to read. You can center the paper, you can put it left or right. You can make the words bigger or smaller without actually affecting the font, just the zoom. And then there's background fade. And let me show you how you can change the backgrounds. So, view, full screen backdrop. Now I already, oh, I thought I uploaded one. I guess not. That's okay. We're gonna upload a new backdrop. And I had one in particular. Oh, here we go. So, full screen backdrop. Where is it? I guess it didn't choose it. That one. Maybe it did. Yeah, there it is. So you can just choose a background and have it as inspiration. Like if you're writing about a cabin in the woods, you can have a picture of a cabin in the woods, or something that makes you motivated, or something that makes you happy, just in the background. So that's full screen. I showed you the inspector. Oh, split screen. Split screen is also one of my favorite ones because you can have a reference open and still be typing at the same time in your scene. So, okay, I have my scene up and I want to split the screen. You can split it horizontally or vertically. You can put one smaller or bigger. It doesn't matter horizontally or vertically. I've always used horizontally, but now that I'm looking at vertically again, I'm kind of liking it. So, okay, so you want to highlight this one, say. Okay, I clicked over here because this is the one I want to change. And I'm going to go over to my main character's profile and click it. So here, I have my main character's profile that I can reference while I'm typing in this editor. So I can look over and say, oh, they are a detective. So now that I remember that they're a detective, here we go, I can type about it. So that is the split screen. And again, this is it in horizontal view in case you want to look at it that way. And then once you want to go back to full screen, just click on the one that you want full screen and click no split right here. Well, just kidding. I guess the one highlighted is the one that closes. So there you go. That's basically it for the basics of Scrivener. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to recap just really quick. So in your binder, you have your manuscript, and then you have the other things that are not your manuscript for reference. And you have folders and documents to keep it nice and tidy, nice and organized. And you can have them all open or all shut depending on whichever is better for you. So in the corkboard view, you can see the sub-documents of whatever you have chosen. If I click manuscript, I see all of the folders within it, chapter 1, 2, and 3. And if I click a folder, I see all the documents under that folder. And then I showed you the labels and the status. So label, scene, chapter, idea, notes, or you can change it. And then status, first draft, to do, final draft, and you can also change that to anything you want it to say. You have your regular word editor view and your corkboard view. And then I showed you the inspector, which shows the synopsis and other snippets of information, and then you can use the document notes. Then under project targets, this is how many words you've written today or in one session since you've opened the document. You can set your goal right there. And this is the overall text of your manuscript only, and you can set your goal here. Full screen is just whatever scene, or even if you want the entire, I guess I'll show you that. If you want the entire manuscript, click on manuscript and then open full screen right here. And you can see it all at the same time with no other distractions. And then the split screen was the only other thing. So I'm going to close the inspector. I'm going to open the split screen. Again, you can make it half and half. You can make one bigger than the other. And I want my main character here. And over here I want scene 2. And let's do scene 3. So here you go. You can have split screen horizontally or vertically. Well, this is horizontally and this is vertically. And so that's it. That's the down and dirty of Scrivener. Really simple. I know it looks intimidating, but it's way more simple than you would think. And if you have any questions, just let me know.